Wilson Stadium is packed as the city of Montreal recognizes the Grey Cup greatness of their Alouettes. Well, the revived REDBLACKS would love nothing more than to spoil the party here in La Belle Provence. Welcome everyone. Dwayne Ford alongside myself, Marshall Ferguson, Kenzie Lalonde down at field level for us throughout the evening, and one that is already pretty celebratory and a lot of fun here in Montreal.
Yeah, and the challenge for the Alouettes obviously is going to be shifting gears from celebration mode into business, and this is the guy who's going to set the tone for them, Cody Fajardo. He's been on a heater, 10 straight wins as the Alouettes starter. He obviously wants to keep that going on this special evening. Of course, on the other side, Drew Brown, you heard what a good job he's been doing, taking care of the football. He comes from a championship pedigree, 4 straight trips to the Grey Cup with Winnipeg.
As Bob Dice, the head coach of the Ottawa REDBLACKS, gets set to dig in a difficult environment. He told us this week that he would love to see his team respond to adversity the same way they did last week to end it after a lightning delayed as Jason Moss sees his Alouettes receive the opening kickoff, and we are underway in week number 3, and a big special teams tackle right out of the gate as James Letcher Jr. gets popped, and out comes 2023 Grey Cup MVP Cody Fajardo.
And for Cody Fajardo, it's been about maintaining momentum over the course of a 6-month offseason, and he and his teammates have obviously done a terrific job of that thus far. Nice job taking care of that football, 69% completion rate for Fajardo thus far.
6-1 in his career against the Ottawa REDBLACKS. As he'll begin empty with 6 receivers available. Quick screen and right away into the hands of Tyson Philpott. And Jason Moss and Anthony Calvillo scripting that one up nicely as we get a look at the rest of the Alouettes starting offense.
And on that offensive line, Philippe Gagnon in his second turn as an Alouette, number 2 overall pick back in 2016, playing some very good football on that offensive line. You heard Milt mention it earlier. Reggie White Jr. missed all of 2023. The knee injury, he returns to the receiving corps this week for the Owls.
Gain of 12 to Philpott on the very first play of the ball game. Now they switch their other talented receiver, Keon Julian Grant, across the formation, handed off inside, and Walter Fletcher gets wrapped up as the Ottawa defense will try to stack up Fletcher throughout the evening.
And this group, of course, led by Lorenzo Malden, the 4th, and the most dangerous pass rushers in the Canadian Football League. Heart and soul of this defense, Javon Santos-Knox at the middle linebacker spot. He is their leader. And how about the terrific defensive play by Damon Webb down the stretch against Winnipeg last week to help seal the victory.
He was everywhere in week number 2 and fired up here in week 3 as Fajardo looks over the middle. Now he'll air one out down the sideline, hangs it up, hauled in. Philpott once again down the sideline, makes the grab.
Philpott lined up out wide here. He's just going down the rail. Ball hangs up. Subtle push off. Fighting back to go up and get that football. Helps the defender overrun it. Goes and high points that football for a big gain for the Alouettes.
You can see Drew Desjardins, the REDBLACKS O-lineman, watching on, realized it was going to be a big play, a gain of 40, and now Fajardo looks to the end zone, punts. Now Cody escapes, looks to run, and he'll slide down just inside the 20, and a late flag comes up.
A tough call from my perspective against the Ottawa defender, Santos-Knox. You look at the timing, I mean, you've got to commit to making the tackle, and once you do, you can't pull it back. If you as a defender sort of launch into the strike
Major
at the same time as the quarterback slides.
Ottawa number 5. Half the distance to the goal line. Automatic first down.
And was it just the back of Cody's helmet got caught by Santos-Knox dipping down? I mean, it was Cody kind of leaned into it. He's one of the better quarterbacks at being able to draw these flags, but that is a tough one for Javon Santos-Knox. 241 tackles since 2021. He's extremely productive from Hamilton signing here in Ottawa, but gives up a chunk of yardage there. So it will be 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. Fajardo rolls to his right, pressure on, gets it away. It's Fletcher, the third leading receiver through the first 2 weeks here for the Alouettes, making another grab and down at the 5.
Yeah, you're going to see Fletcher shoot out to the flat, quick bootleg by Fajardo. With the defender trying to track Fletcher from the inside, you know you're going to be able to get at least a few yards on this play before anyone in coverage can get to him.
The Alouettes break the huddle here. They'll have Cole Speaker begin in the backfield alongside Fletcher. Max protection. Fajardo's got lots of time, looking for an open receiver, rolls to his right, pumps, Fajardo into the end zone, touchdown Alouettes.
And here you're just going to see coverage drops off. They all want to stick with the receivers in the end zone. Nobody's accounting for the quarterback, Cody Fajardo. Get everyone else covered up. Cody sees it, recognizes he's got an opportunity to go, and he's in. Untouched for the game's first score. We said they've got to shift from celebration mode to business mode, and he's the guy who sets the tone. Cody Fajardo does that very successfully to open this game.
6 plays, 75 yards in just over 3 minutes. They scripted the opening pass to Tyson Philpott. Essentially end the Grey Cup going to Philpott, start the home opener, the celebration night with another throw for Philpott, but it's the Grey Cup MVP, Cody Fajardo, making his way to the end zone, is 7 for 7.
A terrific opening drive put together by Cody Fajardo and the Montreal Alouettes. Tyson Philpott playing a significant role in that, getting things started with a positive play on the hitch. And winning the big jump ball. Cody Fajardo's legs. The other hero, so to speak, of the opening drive as he runs it in for the game's first score.
Nobody holds that Statue of Liberty pump fake in the CFL better than Cody Fajardo. As on banner night, they raise one and they begin it with a banner performance. A quick drive for a major, as this will be returned by Devontae Dedman. The Red Blacks get their first touch of the ball game. And it will come Drew Brown, who played the hero. People forget, Dwayne, because of the lightning delay last week. He had a game-winning drive to end that thing in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and I think a big part of what Drew Brown brings to an Ottawa team that obviously has struggled over its last few seasons is high expectations, and expectations he places on himself, expectations that he's going to hold his teammates to hopefully push this team to higher heights.
Biggest thing for Drew Brown in his debut with the Red Blacks, turnover free. That'll be huge here tonight against a tough crowd in Montreal as he looks to throw quickly, a little bit slow, coming out in on cue, down the sideline, Tyrese Beverett intercepted. It is Brown looking for Jalen Acklin, but on the spot, Tyrese Beverett. Well, it says Drew Brown on his first pass attempt here in the night they raised their 2023 Grey Cup banner. He throws an interception, but Bob Dice is throwing the challenge flag here, likely looking for pass interference on Nafis Leon, and right away you could see Bob in the background there, Coach Dice pointing and saying, hey, somebody's got to call this, and we'll see whether or not we get a look in command center as they go through the footage. What are you seeing, Dwayne?
Yeah, I want to get a couple different angles on this one, quite frankly, but it looks like the defender may have had his arm wrapped around the waist of the receiver before the ball got there.
Our lead official this evening, referee, is Andrew Wakefield. They have the decision from command.
The previous play was challenged by Ottawa for pass interference. After review, the ruling on the field stands. It's Ottawa ball, or Montreal ball, first down. Ottawa has charged their first team timeout and is out of challenges.
Acklin, the intended receiver, at the top of your screen, trying to work back to the football. I don't think you can ask much more from the defender in terms of timing on that one.
Drew Brown's first interception in 138 pass attempts. Coming in, he had 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Now it's Cody Fajardo's football. Looks over the middle into the back of the end zone, and just off the waiting hands of Keon Julian Grant.
Julian Grant out wide is going to work towards the deep post here. He gets up suggesting that he may have been impeded along the way. I think some incidental contact.
The challenge flag is out from Jason Moss, but I would think that, as you say, Dwayne, has got to be for the accidental pass interference as they tripped over each other. Maybe a little tug there on the back as well.
Initially, it looked as if Money Hunter in chasing.
Montreal is challenging the previous play for pass interference. The play will be reviewed.
And chasing Julian Grant may have run up on his heels a little bit, as I suggested at the time, not intentionally.
And these teams both came in without having challenged so far this year through 3 games, and all of a sudden we are here less than 5 minutes into the first quarter, and they've both thrown a challenge flag in. Let's take a look here at number 11, Keon Julian Grant.
Yeah, Julian Grant, the outside receiver, once again on this one. Going to get man coverage from the corner, Money Hunter. Again, certainly a little bit of contact there, and yes, as you said, their right hand on the bottom of the jersey may be the thing that gets Money Hunter in trouble on this one.
Jason Moss, 32 for 77 career challenges, 42% as it stands. Tough year last year, just 25% successful. He was 3 of 12, challenged more than anybody else in the Canadian Football League. And he uses one up early here to try and get himself into better position after the Tyrese Beverett interception on Drew Brown's first passing attempt, as we have a decision from the command center.
After review, we have pass interference. Ottawa number 4. Ball will be placed on the 1-yard line. Automatic first down.
Money Hunter having a tough start to this ball game. A big catch for Tyson Philpott, and now pass interference, and the ball goes right down onto the 1.
And fascinating to see both coaches challenge within the first 5 minutes of this ball game. You kind of wonder why, in a world where usually you're trying to hold on to those things. Well, for both of them, points and huge momentum are at stake. It's the right time by both coaches to play that card.
Jason Moss going for a knockout punch here early on as Caleb Evans, the former Red Black, comes in. Pushes forward to the goal line. No call. Now Money Hunter's trying to get a stop on him. Touchdown Alouettes. Evans told us he's got a little thicker, a little stronger. Trying to add to his body. Looks like it paid off right there, Dwayne.
Yeah, Caleb Evans knows what his primary role is on this team, and that is as short yardage quarterback, putting himself in the best possible position to be successful when called upon, and demonstrates right here. He's ready to rock.
So now 2 Alouettes quarterbacks with rushing touchdowns, if you're keeping track at home, as Evans continues to walk around the sideline and flex at anybody who wants to come over and congratulate him. And a 13-0 lead with the extra point from David Cote to follow.
Did you tell him?
Nice snap that time, brought down, kick is up and good. As Caleb Evans, his 29th career rushing touchdown, had to work for it. Little help from his friends as well here on Banner Night in Montreal. The New York Fries here for the Alouettes fans on a hot night in Quebec, and it's Caleb Evans into the end zone, pushing his way through. They thought they got the stop there, but hey, the guy that seems to have the golden touch might as well be the one to pull you in, as Tyson Philpott.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Good initial stop there from the Ottawa defense, but second effort from Evans, and as you said, a little help from his friends.
The Redblacks get the football back. It is Devontae Dedmon once again trying to get the angle to the outside. Those Alouettes special teams coverage units, as good as anybody across the CFL, is Raquel Armstead, an extremely productive 95 yards back last week against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, led the CFL.
Yeah, and a big part of Ottawa's successful season opening victory, no doubt, keep a little bit of the pressure off of his quarterback, Drew Brown, in that one. Armstead, big physical runner.
Palm Rock. And he ran it hard last week. We'll see what he can do if he gets a chance here early on. It's just like the first play of their home opener. It's Braylon Addison getting a carry up inside as he's part of this Ottawa starting offense.
And along that offensive line, Darius Bladek comes over from Toronto as a free agent. Another guy with a Grey Cup ring that they like having as part of that locker room. We mentioned Armstead, 90+ yards in the season opener. They look for more of the same from Rock here in week 3.
2nd and 7. It's Alouettes team, the best in the CFL. And 2 and outs early on in 2024. Sean Lemon on the hunt, but it's away from Brown and incomplete, looking for Armstead, and it will be a 2 and out for the Redblacks. So an interception and a 2 and out here in the first quarter.
Yeah, Armstead's just running a drag across the formation. Outstretched arms, that one's off the fingertips. The Alouettes maintain their first quarter momentum.
Slight breeze at the back of Richie Leone here inside Percival Molson, and it was almost a special teams calamity. But now it's James Letcher Jr. getting around the corner. Gagne with the clean block, and it'll be Alonzo Adai pushing him out of bounds, but not until all the way up near the 55, and tremendous starting field position once again for the Montreal Alouettes.
Yeah, I love on this return, you said smart block by Gagne, who turns his back and shields his man as if he's boxing him out, not from the ball carrier, but from the sideline. Terrific play by Gagne to avoid the illegal block penalty while still helping his returner.
And the Alouettes had 5 big plays coming in. They were +5 because they haven't given up any. That one goes for 31 yards. That'll qualify. They already had the big 40-yard completion to Tyson Philpott, so +7 on the season on those explosive plays, offense and special teams. As Fajardo turns and hands it off here to Fletcher, and nowhere to go. That front for the Redblacks stacks it up.
Well, Redblacks with their offense having trouble getting going. Certainly need a big stop from their D here before falling into too much of a hole. Veteran group over there on defense, so they'll rely on these guys a little bit. Players like Lorenzo Malden, Cleon Lang, Adarius Pickett, Javon Santos Knox, and others need to set the tone here for their team.
And show pressure, bail out of it last second. Fajardo goes to the outside, getting a foot down. Tyson Philpott makes the grab once again, that time in front of DeAndre Lamont.
Tyson Philpott, the wide man in this 3-man set. Again, working the sideline, showing off his athleticism as he climbs the ladder to go get another one. So the CFL's leading receiver in week 1. Busy here again to start this one.
Caught 88% of his targets coming into tonight. He's 3 for 3 right now, having a big first quarter. As Fajardo this time, quick game underneath, a little slant, and that's caught by Letcher, sneaking him into the offense.
So here you see Letcher as they try to take advantage of his speed a little bit, bringing him underneath. Ottawa defense does a pretty good job of bottling him up before he can get much room to go to work. Obviously, he's in there based on the threat of what he can do after the catch. Haven't seen a lot of offensive snaps for Letcher so far in his CFL career.
Late season push led to the cut of Chandler Worthy, very good returner. Back on May 1st of this year, as in comes Caleb Evans and brings the touchdown push back to life, looking for a first down here and a fresh set of downs. They'll give it to him, and the Alouettes train keeps rolling downhill.
Evans very consistent in his role as the short yardage guy. He and the rest of that big team. It's not a glamorous job, but a critical one.
Fajardo will break the huddle here with the fullback David Dallaire in. Fletcher as well, but it'll be Keon Julian Grand and Tyson Philpott to his left. They'll hand it off. Fletcher stutters the feet, gets north-south, and gets as much ground as he possibly can on first down. A nice chunk that time. The left side of that Alouettes offensive line, creating some room for 25.
Yeah, Alouettes mixing up their personnel packages a little bit this time, as you said, bringing in the fullback. Philpott also lead blocking on the front side of this one. Fletcher able to bounce that one to the outside for a nice first down pickup.
Alouettes' pace in and out of the huddle, Dwayne, feels great for early season. I know they've already played twice, but here in week 3 speaks to the rhythm that they're in as they look on 2nd and 5 to the wide side of the field. And once again, Tyson Philpott, casual as ever, makes a tough catch.
Yeah, 4 catches for Philpott so far. 3 of them have looked very similar, just at different points on the field. You see him go up, catch it cleanly in his hands, secure that ball before landing. Tyson Philpott quickly jumping out ahead of Justin McInnes to become the league's leading receiver here in week 3.
Judge Renantwi in this time as well, as they'll fake the handoff to Philpott over the top. Oh, they tried to dial up a touchdown for the back from major injury, Reggie White, who got an incredible ovation from the crowd. A really educated Montreal fan base here that knew what he battled through to be here tonight.
Yeah, it's been a tough go, but great to see Reggie White back in this lineup. This is a guy who had over 700 yards receiving for the Alouettes back in 2022. You know, and there may still be some adjustment going on, as again, this is a guy who didn't have the opportunity to work with Cody Fajardo a year ago.
4 receivers to the left of Fajardo. That's where he's looking. Pressure on. Spins out to his left. A flag comes up, and Cody will get rid of this one before Frankie Griffin pushes him to the turf.
Well, this one's in holding territory.
Holding, Montreal number 62. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Field goal unit comes off the sideline here for the Alouettes to add on to their early advantage.
On the left tackle, Nick Callender, the man flagged for that one. And you know, again, this is one of those that happens when the quarterback starts to scramble. Offensive linemen having a little troubles knowing when the quarterback is going to redirect. He has to put the clutch on Bryce Carter.
31 yards away. Yet another high snap. Joseph Zima does well to get it down, and the kick is through. So the Alouettes 17-0 here in the first quarter over the Ottawa REDBLACKS, as Cody Fajardo and Caleb Evans, each with a rushing touchdown. We're celebrating here on New York Fries Thursday Night Football, the CFL on TSN.
Encourages his athletes to lean on one another, to play for one another. You look at their locker room last year, at any point in time in the film room, coaches would ask players to stand up and tell me about the guy sitting next to you. What's his hometown? Where did he play college? And then, of course, the competition on the field, off the field. Athletes would be asked to sprint every now and then and compete against one another. And, of course, having fun off the field. A little game of pickleball always kept things competitive. So Jason Moss has certainly led the foundation. He has built the house, and now, guys, can they weather the storm with the house that's been built?
Yeah, thank you, Kenzie. Tremendous team building right from day one by Jason Moss coming in as the head coach. And it led to an incredible opening ceremony as Drew Brown trying to find some momentum here. Down 17-0 early on. Steps away from pressure, throws across his body, and it is caught somehow by Justin Hardy. It got there, but oh, it wasn't straightforward, Dwayne.
Justin Hardy working out of the slot. Ottawa's leading receiver a year ago, and in their win last week, over 100 for Justin Hardy. Tip ball led to an interception earlier, this time to a big completion off the hands of Tyrese Beverette to the waiting Red Black slot.
And Alouette down on the sideline in front of their bench. It looks like it is Deontay Ruffin, so it'll take a second, but Beverette nearly had his second interception of the first quarter.
Yeah, weak side linebacker, one of the top defensive players in this league, out of Stony Brook.
It's a heck of a way to get your first down if you're the Ottawa Redblacks. Montreal's already got 8 in this ball game.
Yeah. As the saying goes, beggars can't be choosers. The way this one has started for Ottawa, they'll take that first down and a trip into Montreal territory any way it comes.
No doubt. Braylon Addison shifts into the backfield as he does so often here in this Tommy Condell coached offense. Takes the handoff, spins away from contact, and somehow gets a yard, maybe 2, out of a whole lot of nothing as we get a look at this Montreal starting defense.
And for this group, Dylan Wynn, former Hamilton Tiger Cat and Toronto Argonaut, joins the D-line group this week, making his first start of the season. Bryce Cosby in at that Sam linebacker or nickel linebacker spot in place of the injured Reggie Stubblefield. We may also see some Titus Wall there, the former Stampeder. And Najee Murray in his 6th year, the longest serving Alouettes defender.
2nd and 8 for the Red Blacks. Brown over the middle, tight window to Addison. Can't hang on to it. There's plenty of Alouettes defenders around. Mustafa Johnson, defensive lineman bailing out, was the one there at the end of the play, but incomplete, and the punting unit comes out.
You'll see this pocket converging a little bit, and an unorthodox front there. Not surprisingly from Noel Thorpe. 2 defensive linemen and a linebacker lined up on the nose, forming the 3-man rush.
James Letcher Jr. back to return here on the edge of field goal position for Lewis Ward, but they decide to boot it away, dropping it down right at the goal line. Takes 2 hops before Letcher picks it up and takes a knee. 47-yard punt as Cody Fajardo on a bit of a heater here in Montreal. His last 10 starts, some incredible stats.
Yeah, very impressive. These guys just seem to gain momentum as they go. Obviously, this started down the stretch last season, continued into the playoffs. So Grey Cup made it an 8-game winning streak, which, despite the Toronto Argonauts' great run last season, they had 2 7-game win streaks. Montreal's 8-game win streak, the longest in the CFL last season. And they have just kept the party going here into 2024.
7 of 8 right now. It's also a 10-game passing touchdown streak for Fajardo coming into tonight. So he's got all sorts of good momentum behind him coming into week 3 in the home opener, and certainly started this game the right way. Nearing 100 yards already in the ball game. Still 1:10 remaining in this first quarter. Fajardo, a little pop pass underneath. Keon Julian Grant makes something out of nothing as well. Gets up to the 42-yard line before he's turned around.
Cody Fajardo mentioned that completion percentage earlier. Been pretty good company in terms of Alouette history. The great Anthony Calvillo, Hall of Famer.
Coach AC.
Yes, sir. His influence being directly felt by his quarterback.
8 for 9 here is Fajardo as he flips his hips back. 9 of 10, gets it to Rambo, and stacked up. Money Hunter all over Rambo that time, not letting him pick up the first down yardage. So the Ottawa defense finally gets off the field.
Yeah, big stop here. Montreal looking to get Rambo involved with the hitch screen. But Money Hunter beats his block. Big play there for the former Alouette.
There comes Joseph Zima for what should be the final play of the first quarter. He spent his whole first quarter holding extra points and field goals. Now gets to send this one away. Side-winding boot drops down to the 30. Picked up there, and a good 12-yard return by Tobias Harris. Dipping his toes into the return waters for the Red Blacks as Drew Brown and the Red Blacks trying to get back on track. 17-1 is your score. A little flyover, a little flight into the end zone from Drew Brown. Great field position for the Montreal Alouettes, and here we are, 17-1. Most impressive to me, aside from the fact that Tyson Philpott is on pace for about 280 receiving yards after the first quarter, is Cody Fajardo. It's hot. It's loud in here. He had all the distractions about the banner, the championship, the home opener. He came out and looked like it was week 15 playing on a Thursday.
Yeah, and Cody has demonstrated during his time here with the Montreal Alouettes, he's a terrific leader. And he's set the tone for his team in this ball game, and very fitting that he would be the guy to go out and score the game's opening touchdown, lead them on a march right after the big celebration, getting things going. A couple of big strikes in that opening drive to the aforementioned Tyson Philpott. And here they are with a 3-score lead a quarter into this ball game.
Drew Brown fakes the end around here, goes screen to the backside and across the 40 up to about the 45. It will be Raquel Armstead as they're trying to get him going after a very productive week number 2.
Yeah, and good discipline here from the Montreal defense. You'll see Armstead is going to continue out on that screen pass. Alouettes get out there in front of him. Nice job containing it, slow playing it by the defender, allowing pursuit to get there and shut that play down with only a short gain.
Miscommunication here with the noise as an empty backfield for Drew Brown. First game against an East opponent in his CFL career. He gets hit, and he gets the football away as there's a flag with him getting hit low, but it is complete to Jalen Ackland.
Yeah, this one, Bryce Cosby comes free on the blitz, but hits Drew
Major
Brown.
foul, roughing the passer, Montreal number 30. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And he's going to be below that strike zone, so he's the top defender, outside defender to the far left on the line of scrimmage. Cosby comes unblocked here. But as you see, hitting Drew Brown below the knee. Dangerous play. Brown fortunately got that right foot up off the ground, avoiding injury.
Deep exhale for Red Blacks fans everywhere watching this one as Brown, 1st and 10 from the 43. Looks vertical, little seam shot. This time it is complete. And that's the man that stirs the drink in this Red Blacks offense, Justin Hardy with another grab.
Yeah, Justin Hardy, veteran guy, lined up in the slot here. He's going to work across the middle on this one. So going into traffic, and this is exactly what you need a veteran leader to do, quite honestly, is go make a play for your quarterback in this situation. Quiet the crowd a little bit.
One-time NCAA all-time receptions leader in East Carolina with 387. Makes another here in his CFL career. Now the ball is out. It's loose. A fumble from Drew Brown, who was turnover free in his Ottawa debut last week. An interception. And now Darnell Sankey celebrating in the end zone, but there's a flag down on the field. There's all kinds of pressure from the Montreal front there.
Oh, Sankey, such an important part of the Al stretch run last year. Former Stampeder and Rough Rider. Got a veteran presence, physical presence to the middle of that defense. No player in the CFL had more tackles in 2021 and 2022 combined than Darnell Sankey.
Yeah, hold it. Yeah. Work it. What happened? What happened?
Clear up the flag for you on the other side. Drew Brown, the pressure from who else? Tyrese Beverett. Darnell Sankey all over it. As it is a big play for the Montreal Alouettes here defensively. A couple of offsetting misconduct fouls at the end of the play, but this is all that matters right now. Tyrese Beverett knocking it away, and Darnell Sankey there on the spot.
Yeah, a couple guys with knack for the big play. Beverett, one of the most productive defenders in the league since coming over to Montreal.
Blitz coming here from the Red Blacks linebacking core, but again to the outside, away from pressure. Tyson Philpott's sensational night continues.
Yeah, Philpott just on fire to start this game and to start the season. Here working against Tobias Harris. Nice stem to the inside, gets the defender back on his heels before breaking it to the sideline. Always catching the ball cleanly in his hands. Another nice pickup there for number 6.
Add 23 more to the tally here tonight for Philpott, catching absolutely everything thrown his way. Fajardo fakes the handoff, flips it out. Keon Julian Grant, little sidestep, bounces off the money hunter tackle. Another solid chunk on first down for the Owls offense.
Yeah, I love this combination. A couple of young rising Canadians in this Montreal Alouettes receiving core. Here you'll see Julian Grant moving right to left on your screen across the formation. This is one of the best yards after catch receivers in the Canadian Football League. He was a terrific kick returner in college, hasn't really filled that role in the CFL, but a guy you want to find different ways to get the ball in his hands.
Sneaky strength from KJG is now Fajardo to the outside, looking for Julian Grant again. Did he get a foot down? They talk it over. The Alouettes will try and convince, and they'll spot the football. Another big grab for the Alouettes offense.
And here you see the trail receiver. Here Julian Grant. His buddy Philpott gets picked off. Nice route to the outside. Great concentration to get the foot down before he steps out of bounds.
Did Fajardo try to go quickly here? And Jason Moss unsure why whistles came in.
Think back a couple of years where Keon Julian Grant was playing almost all of his snaps. Oh, and wondering if the toe stayed inbounds. Looked like it was just inside that sideline. But this is a guy who was playing most of his snaps as the wide side wide out, not necessarily seeing a lot of action.
Fajardo fades backwards, now steps up in the pocket. Cody escapes, picks up 2 or 3 with his legs as he leads the CFL in quarterback escape runs through the first 2 weeks and a bit here.
Yeah, here Fajardo feeling the pressure and doing a nice job to avoid taking a loss on this one.
Wes Monteala was the one who wrapped up his ankle, brought him down. And it creates 2nd down and 7. As the wave starts to flow around Percival Molson, Fajardo with the blitz coming, steps forward. He'll go for another run. Out to the right-hand side. He's got the angle inside the 20 to the 10. Fajardo wrapped up and brought down inside the 6-yard line.
Yeah, you'll see things open up here for Cody Fajardo. First he takes his drop. You see it was the middle linebacker. Javon Santos Knox jumped to the outside looking to contain Fajardo. That opened up a lane inside. Cody takes it. For a big dash here, safety Alonzo Adai with perhaps a touchdown saving tackle.
I don't even think that Cody saw Alonzo Adai. He was eyes inside the whole time. Otherwise, he might have scored. We'll see if he does here. Inside the score zone, hands it off to Walter Fletcher, stutters the feet. And a good job closing down the backside that time by the Red Blacks defense.
Yeah, full house in the backfield Jeffrey Antwi getting some snaps back there.
Darius Pickett gets the call in here from Baron Miles. Trying to find a way to stop his former club in the Alouettes, leading 17-1. Inside 10 minutes remaining in this first half. Fajardo, eyes to the left the whole way. Sees the crossing route. Oh, and under through it that time, or Philpott might be in the end zone again.
Yeah, Tyson Philpott was open early on this route. Not sure if the offensive line, he's going to be coming left to right on your screen. You'll see he's got some separation, but I think by the time Cody Fajardo picks him up, the defender closes a little bit and is in position to make a play on that one. Tobias Harris, the man in pursuit.
As crazy as it is to say for the Ottawa Redblacks, you got to be thankful that Cody's missed at least 2 throws, the one to Reggie White and the one that time to Philpott. Well, this might be in the 30s offensively for the Alouettes. Regardless, David Cote knocks it through, and it's 20-1 as the Alouettes in control. Correctly, you might as well bring in somebody who knows a thing or two about, I don't know, rings, gold medals, world championships. Let's go down to Kenzie Lalonde with Marie-Philippe Poulin, the captain.
Exactly that, Marshall. Winners are in the house, and when you're celebrating a championship, well, you got to bring in Canadian sport icon Marie-Philippe Poulin. Marie-Philippe, how was it to be a part of the festivities here tonight and open the cage?
It's amazing. I think every time you have the chance to be involved in a sport community, it's always so much fun, especially Montreal. After they won the Grey Cup, it was a great night.
It was pretty awesome for you now with PWHL Montreal, getting a lace up in front of your home province on a weekly basis. Just can you describe that feeling?
It was amazing. Being able to play for Montreal in the PWHL, we had a great year. We cannot wait to get back on the ice and get back at it.
Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kenzie, and great job by Kenzie as well on all of our PWHL work throughout the inaugural season. Extremely successful, and one that saw these Alouettes out supporting a little bit as well. As back and forth the love goes between pro sports here in Quebec, with the Alouettes giving Marie-Philippe a reason to enjoy her evening, up 20-1. 8.5 minutes remaining in this first half, and Drew Brown with a 2nd and 2. They'll give the rock to Rock, and he crosses the 50, but is the football out again? Another turnover, and why not? Tyrese Beverett.
Oh, Beverett already with an interception, a forced fumble, now a fumble recovery in this ball game. Absolute monster. Let's take a look here. You're going to see Armstead, the deep man in the backfield, plunges into traffic here. We'll try to take a close look at that to see if he was in fact still up when the ball came loose. Top of another Ottawa player as he's going over top when that ball is popped loose.
There's Tyrese Beverett's stat line. He does a little bit of everything, and he does it all at a very high level. Him and Sankey just swap roles from the last ball. Last time it was Sankey with the force and Beverett with the recovery, and they go back and forth. As now Fajardo, double move, Philpott down the seam, makes the grab and slides into the end zone. Montreal explodes in celebration.
There's a lot of good stuff happening for Montreal in this football game, if I may state the obvious, but how about Tyson Philpott? This guy is absolutely on fire. Alouettes looking for the quick strike after the turnover. And their big play guy stepping into a bigger role here. East Division Rookie of the Year in 2022, Grey Cup hero in 2023. Perhaps the league's leading receiver in 2024. I don't know, that's the way he started off. What a great pick at number 9 overall in 22.
Makes that criticism of the CFL Combine 40 look a little silly at this point. Tyson taken off as the Alouettes take flight for 51 and lead 27-1.
Look back at the latest highlight on the reel of one Tyson Philpott and Marshall. You mentioned that 40-yard dash at the Combine. People were underwhelmed, but it's not about how fast you run in a straight line. It's about how fast you play, right? And you see the changes of direction, getting the DB's hips turned. Money Hunter, a veteran guy, absolutely turned around on that one as Philpott puts himself in position to get in behind the defender for yet another big play. Chunk more yards for him and another touchdown.
Monte Dedman back to return as crossing the 35, bounces off a tackler, and Dedman breathing some life into the Ottawa offense, trying to help with the starting field position here, as that was a huge part of their victory against Winnipeg. That time he has a 39-yard kickoff return.
Yeah, and this is one of the guys when the offense isn't going that the Ottawa Redblacks have come to look to in recent years. And if you remember, this is where the Devontae Dedman experience started, right here at Percival Molson Stadium in Montreal. He had a couple of return touchdowns to kick off his Canadian Football League career.
Look at there, Gagne battling off the Anthony Gosselin block and making the special teams tackle as Drew Brown rolls away from Isaac Adeyemi Berglund and sends this one beyond the outstretched arms of Dominique Grimes, whose name we have not said much at all tonight.
Well, so little opportunity for Ottawa offensively in this ball game, and they've got to, as a group, this offense needs to find a way to stay on the field, not just to give them their defense a break, but to develop some momentum, some continuity. Got to get something going here, as you see their coordinator, Tommy Condell. But I think back to that first quarter time of possession, over 11 minutes for the Alouettes.
Diametrically opposite to their formula for success in week number 2. They need anything at this point, as now it's in behind Braylon Addison and Marc-Antoine Dequoy. Thought about taking that one down the left sideline and celebrating with his bench on the way.
We'll take a look at the work of one of the Canadian Football League's best safeties, Marc-Antoine Dequoy, now in his 4th year, 5 interceptions a year ago. In the regular season, perhaps his biggest, coming in the opening drive of that East Final against Toronto.
Big boot here by Richie Leone, drops Fletcher Jr. back inside his 10, hand on the ground, and crosses to the 17. Is what can't Tyson Philpott do?
Yeah, what a start here in week 3. The BC native, University of Calgary, product of Vanier Cup champion there in 2019. Has been all over the place, packing a season's worth of highlights into a half of football.
145 yards for Tyson Philpott right now. We're not even at halftime. We joked about it being on pace for somewhere around 200, 250. We'll see where he goes as the night continues, but what a first half as Fajardo hands it off, this time to Fletcher. Cuts back inside, wrapped up and brought down to Darius Pickett. First on the spot there for Ottawa.
Yeah, Pickett, big free agent signing, obviously, for Ottawa in the offseason, coming off an outstanding year with the Toronto Argonauts. Most outstanding defensive player. Pickett coming in from the right side of your screen. Tracking down Fletcher on the backside. But Pickett, one of those free agents that Montreal lost during their ownership uncertainty prior to last season.
Montreal to Toronto to Ottawa, doing the East Tour, making plays everywhere as Fletcher once again gets the handoff. And it will be a first down for the Alouettes.
And Montreal mixing it up a little bit, maybe looking to take a little more starch out of the legs of the Ottawa defense, going to the run game here.
Big bodies up front for the Alouettes, led by Pierre-Olivier Lestage, left guard out of the University de Montreal. Fajardo pumps, looks left, comes back right. Keon Julian Grant, does he make a sensational grab or what?
Well, Keon Julian Grant maybe occasionally overshadowed by his teammate Tyson Philpott, but the fact is, like, both of these guys are absolutely unreal. Explosive athletes, tremendous receivers. There you see the strength that you mentioned earlier. Julian Grant fighting through what would have been or should have been a pass interference call against Damon Webb. Stay focused on that football and make a big grab.
Now they'll go to a hot throw on the outside. Why not? Get it right back into Keon Julian Grant's hands as they blow it dead before the whistle goes. We're not far from Ben & Jerry's Vermont ice cream. It's just chunk after chunk after chunk after chunk out here for the Alouettes and these two talented Canadian receivers.
And this is one of my favorite stats, actually, from last season. When you look at the receiving yards per game of these individuals and combine them, the most productive Canadian receiving duo in the league last season. The catch is that both these guys spent chunks of the season on the injured list. They didn't have both of them a lot last year, so you didn't necessarily see it. Now you're seeing it.
Yes, this is the danger. And on that play to Keon, they were actually playing off the threat of going vertical again with Philpott. This time, quick to the outside and the hands. You see the frustration that time on Lamont. He just can't get to that wide side out route quick enough to cover what Fajardo and Philpott are doing here tonight.
Yeah, here you see he's playing with that inside leverage, just speed out from Tyson Philpott. Good timing between he and quarterback Fajardo.
Third and short, they go quickly with Fajardo. As Ottawa thinks they've got the stop, they decided not to bring in Caleb Evans and try and go quickly with it, as Fajardo up with a bit of a hobble and now peeling themselves off the pile to spot the football.
Yeah, and sometimes a decision like this, leaving your base offense on the field, is about not letting the other guys get their short yardage D on either. Just go quickly and take a shot at it before the D has a chance to get settled and understand what you're doing.
27-1 and Montreal looking for more. No end in sight from this Alouettes Grey Cup Championship banner unveiling. The energy in the stadium leading right into the opening drive touchdown, and a huge lead here at the half, but can they add to it, or is it Ottawa football?
Yeah, potential momentum changing moment perhaps for the Ottawa defense.
A chain and a half, and the REDBLACKS get a stop.
And can the offense?
You know, a flag comes out as the teams cross past each other, making their way to the benches.
Yeah, I've made my feelings known about those benches being on the same side of the field in so many CFL stadiums. This stuff doesn't happen if the benches are on opposite sides.
Referee Andrew Wakefield will speak to the rest of his officiating crew.
After the play, 10-yard misconduct foul, Ottawa number 4. 10-yard penalty, first down, Ottawa.
Bob Dice won't be happy with that one on Money Hunter.
No reason for it when something positive has finally happened for you. Don't take the risk. Don't put yourself in a position to take that penalty. On the very left side of your screen, Money Hunter runs through. Bumped an Alouette player there.
For the team in Ottawa that came in leading the CFL in time of possession per game, despite the fact they've only played one, as they get a quick completion out this time into the hands of Rhymes. And once again, Darnell Sankey up and talking. Just a massive difference in time of possession right now as we hit the 3-minute warning. Darnell Sankey and the Alouettes defense doing their thing. See if they get a stop to end the half.
Back inside the climate-controlled studio where it is a perfect 19.5 degrees Celsius. I've heard it's the same for Dwayne Ford right now.
Dwayne is sweating.
Canadian Air Attack coming up at halftime.
19 degrees, that's too cold. You can't set the studio to that.
Well, I'll tell you what, my only regret tonight about wearing a suit is that it's not a three-piece.
Drew Brown underneath Nick Martner, the rookie, makes a grab. Won in his debut last week at home, and Martner out of Auburn, second overall pick in this year's draft, has a gain of 18.
Yeah, Oakville, Ontario native, big target. Ottawa looking to add to their Canadian receiving ranks. Martner, considered perhaps the most polished receiver in the draft class, steps in as an immediate starter here for the REDBLACKS.
One good offensive play, and right away the noise. And a tackle for loss hits the REDBLACKS offense. Isaac Adeyemi Berglund.
A big free agent signing for the Alouettes. Dartmouth, Nova Scotia native, coming from the left side of that defensive line. Just beats a block to the inside and destroys this play. Former Calgary Stampeder, first-round pick for the Stamps in 2020.
We're talking about a second overall pick, and Martner, third overall pick for the Stampeders. Right there in Adeyemi Berglund, but now an Alouette. He'll try to get after Drew Brown once again, as this time a screen out to Addison, and he gets stacked up and turned around just beyond the 30-yard line. That Alouettes defense, coached by Noel Thorpe, is flying tonight.
Like a pack of feeding sharks. Addison in the backfield beside his quarterback. He's just going to slide across for the screen. They try to get the convoy out in front of him, but Beverett beats his block to slow down that play and waits for the rest of his teammates to come and clean up.
Richie Leone, a busy man in this first half. Swirling wind, but Leone pierces it, drops this one down inside the 30-yard line as Fletcher cuts it back, and still on his feet. There is a flag down, making men miss, and somehow 89 dances his way all the way up to the 55, likely coming back with the flag. Byron Archambault pleading to let the play on the field stand by itself.
During the return, holding Montreal number 87. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Is that the first thing to go wrong for the Alouettes tonight?
Yeah, they've been few and far between.
Keep an eye. You can see Pickett maybe had a bit of an angle to the returner there.
Cody Fajardo goes back to work with 1:34 remaining in this first half. Hands it off. Fletcher gets another touch here. The clock will roll after a gain of 4. Time of possession right now, Dwayne, 19 minutes for the Alouettes, just 9 for the REDBLACKS.
Doubling them up. The Alouettes. You know, I said prior to this game, not a team that relies on the big play. They may not be relying on them, but they're sure making them tonight.
Jardo pumps to the right, looks left, somehow finds a way to get Fletcher the football. And another Alouettes first down. Cody spoke to us about his arm strength and wanting to work some more of those deep throws in the offseason. I think he was doing it because he knew he had guys down the field that were going to go make plays for him.
Yeah, little question of that. Combination in particular of Philpott and Julian Grant. This time it's the short one getting it done.
Fajardo hard count this time. Pressure on, over the middle, why not? It's Reggie White back in the lineup for the first time here this evening since 2022 when he had an ACL, LCL, PCL, just a brutal injury, but what a catch.
And Reggie White is just going to bend this one across the middle. In the middle of three converging defenders, Cody Fajardo threads the needle. Reggie White with terrific focus there, and great to see him back in the stats sheet.
Gain of 22. Wonder if it changes the mentality here for the Alouettes at the end of the first half. Fajardo rolls to his left, gets it out of his hands. Big hit that time. Frankie Griffin was waiting in the flats as Cole Speaker makes the grab.
Yeah. Speaker on the very right edge of your screen. Just a quick hook up and bounce out into open space as his quarterback rolls to him. Frankie Griffin waiting on him as he slides out here.
Fajardo looks left, opening the flats. Walter Fletcher once again, he's popped out of bounds. No flag comes up. And Jason Moss doesn't care, he's already back on the call sheet, getting the communication into Fajardo here with 9 seconds remaining.
You don't have to worry too much about Jason Moss being focused on the task at hand. This is a heads-up play by Walter Fletcher, managing the clock. Not trying to turn the shoulder and get down the sideline, but get out of bounds.
Is there any chance they could punctuate this with another touchdown? It's a run up to the 30-yard line here. As the clock rolls for a couple seconds. And they'll send out the field goal unit, not getting greedy with a 27-1 lead.
Yeah, nice execution there. They knew what they were doing, and as you said, playing to the situation, understanding the situation, that you don't need to take a shot at the end zone. You can put up a higher percentage opportunity here with David Côté.
Rare in-game smile from Jason Moss, but a well-earned one from Cody Fajardo. What a first half as Côté knocks another through from 38 yards away. Make it around 30 first half points for the Montreal Alouettes as they unveil their 2023 Grey Cup banner. It's been the tandem of Keon first half, the chunk plays as well for the Montreal passing game. They had completions of 41 yards, 50 yards, and 49 yards in that first half. And just a monster effort all around, top to bottom, from the Montreal Alouettes as they celebrate their 2023 Grey Cup championship here this evening. It's crazy to think as well that Ottawa in that first game against Winnipeg did not allow a passing touchdown, and then Fajardo comes out here and just completes everything. We are ready to go back to action. Can the REDBLACKS mount a massive comeback? Tobias Harris will begin on the return. Crosses the 35, sees some open grass and can't get back outside. Brought down at the 35-yard line, and Drew Brown certainly struggled early on. Got back into a bit of a rhythm, but a little bit too late in that first half for them to put up any more points.
Yeah, and the challenge when you're Ottawa, obviously, is as time goes on one hand, you don't want to play into Montreal's hands defensively, but you can't be too patient when you're down by 29 points at halftime. At some point, you got to push the ball a little bit, and that's going to be to the Alouettes' advantage.
They'll begin with a handoff here. It's what worked for him last week against Winnipeg, as Raquel Armstead picks up a couple on the ground. In terms of average depth of target, the only team more likely to go down the field, Dwayne, so far in the CFL is the BC Lions with Vernon Adams Jr. So Ottawa's not afraid to do it, but man, they got to do it quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, and pick their spots, and part of that is setting things up a little bit, trying to get Raquel Armstead going here a little bit in the ground game, reestablish that line of scrimmage, buy some time for Drew Brown to do his thing.
Tough down and distance against this Alouettes defense. Underneath, completed. Justin Hardy crosses the 50. Easy pitch and catch that time.
Hardy, the number 3 receiver there in the middle of that cluster. The other 2 clear out things around him. He sits it down. Good find beyond first down yardage there for Drew Brown. Little things, but a good start to the half for the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Baby steps.
Gain of 12 made it look so simple that time. Got to piece them together. As this time they'll go with a little speed sweep, get it into the hands of Hardy in a different way. He cuts it back east-west and slides down across the 45-yard lines. This time a rushing attempt for Justin Hardy, finding any way to get the playmakers the football.
Yeah, Hardy carrying the ball is something we didn't see in Ottawa's offense last season, but this is what I would consider part of the Tommy Condell influence in terms of their running game, is getting the receivers involved, using all 65 yards of the width of this field in terms of gaps to attack laterally with that ground game.
Drew Brown motions Braylon Addison into the backfield. Play action, steps up, wanted to take a shot. Mustafa Johnson chases him out of the pocket, and he slides down after just 3 yards.
Well, you're going to get pressure from the outside. And as well, Mustafa Johnson eventually coming free up off that edge, 3-man front. Again, some of the different looks that Noel Thorpe is throwing at Ottawa quarterback Drew Brown.
One of the rising stars on the interior defensive line, Mustafa Johnson, as Devontae Dedmon bounces out of the backfield. They'll go empty here on 2nd and 7. It is to the outside and incomplete, looking for Justin Hardy.
Yeah, tight coverage there. Trying to find Hardy on the quick hitter again. You see Bryce Cosby arriving at the same time as the ball to break up that one.
This time it is a deep field goal attempt, as Richie Leone will put down the tee 47 yards away for Lewis Ward.
Yeah, difference again in the time of this game. First half, they're punting this for field position. Now they need points. They have to take the risk of the long field goal with Letcher back there.
Flag comes up as this one goes doink. We'll see what the flag is, but the field goal is no good. Ward made from 12, 31, and 34 last week against Winnipeg, but just off the mark here from 47. There's Andrew Wakefield.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Montreal number 94. It's a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
The announcer curse. Giving credit to Mustafa Johnson, and he sends the Ottawa offense back on the field.
And we'll have a look here. I wonder if Johnson may have taken a shot at the center, which he can't do. We'll have a look here.
Oof. Good call, Dwayne. So Drew Brown and the REDBLACKS offense with fresh life early in this second half. Nice throw over the middle. Touchdown REDBLACKS. Jalen Acklin into the end zone for his first of 2024, a 25-yard pitch and catch in between Alouettes.
Jalen Acklin's going to line up out wide here, working towards the middle. Nice job settling in that soft spot rather than running through, running himself back into coverage. Drew Brown throws a strike, and the Mustafa Johnson penalty on the field goal proves costly.
Acklin happy to be back in the end zone. As Lewis Ward, after his miss, knocks through the extra points. 7 plays, 74 yards, 7 points. 30-8 is your score. 23 back home in the end zone as the Red Blacks try to make this a ball game. First downs in the first half. They had 4 first downs on this drive, but this is the play that extended it as Mustafa Johnson, 94, right in the middle of your screen, blows through the long snapper, and it leads to this touchdown for Jalen Ackman.
Penalty extended drive, and maybe just the boost Ottawa needs to get back into this one. As we said, baby steps. One play at a time, one drive at a time, but a good start to the second half for Ottawa. It's what this team needed.
Leone sends this away. We'll drop down to James Letcher Jr. Crosses the 30 with some speed, cuts back. Dangerous as ever. Cody Fajardo could not have had a much better first half of action here against the Red Blacks.
Yeah, right out of the gate, Cody Fajardo got things going. This one, Tyson Philpott was on the opening drive. He completed that one with a touchdown run. Had another great scamper where he nearly scored later. But terrific chemistry with Philpott, with Julian Grant. Reggie White with his first catch since 2022 as well, part of this. Terrific opening 30 minutes for Cody Fajardo.
4 options to his right. Fajardo fakes it inside to Fletcher, rolls to his right. Devon Santos Knox gives chase, and he throws this one away into the bench and will play for second down.
And this is obviously what Ottawa wants to get going. A little bit of pressure on Cody Fajardo. Ottawa, as a team, had 45 sacks last season. 15 of those, so a third of their sacks for the season came in their first 3 of 4 meetings with Montreal last season. They seem to have the number of the Ottawa quarterbacks, and in particular their offensive line.
Fajardo looks hard to his left, gets it outside. Keon Julian Grant. Money Hunter right there once again to make the tackle. He's had plenty tonight, but it's because they've been going after him on the outside at times, and now Hunter is slow onto his feet. We'll step away as Money Hunter needs some attention from the training staff. Let's go courses.
You put a prime rib buffet at the end, I'm getting through that.
As Money Hunter makes his way off the field, he was in some pain at the end of that last play, battling to try and make a tackle on the outside against Keon Julian Grant. And we've talked about how strong and difficult to bring down he's been throughout the night, but clear frustration there for Hunter. So we hope that he's okay. But he does make the stop on second down that gives his offense back the football as Joseph Zima sends a wobbler down to the 33-yard line. Dedman wants to take it all the way back the other direction. He can't get there, and the Alouettes special teams are all over it.
Reggie Sibasu did a terrific job getting down the field. Backup receiver number 3, former Montreal Canadiens star. But he's the guy that cuts off the wide side of the field here. Gets in on the tackle. I'd say something to Milt Stiegel about receivers playing special teams, but I don't want Enoch to hurt him again.
Rivalry brewing. As this time Armstead to the outside of East Leon, thinking about going after the Red Blacks running back, but another good run from the CFL rookie.
Yeah, nice first down pick up here. Good burst. Armstead to be contained.
Gain of 13 on the play. Stepping in, of course, for the injured and out for the season, Devontae Williams with an Achilles. In a tough spot is another completion goes to Justin Hardy here. This feels like through the remainder of the evening, Hardy's going to end up with 20 catches by the end of tonight. Just chipping away and finding a guy that's consistent.
A reliable target. Justin Hardy. There you see that snap caught Drew Brown off guard a little bit. Came up early, but he makes the most of it.
Hardy, Addison, Ackland, and Dominique Rhymes. Those four, they got to be able to move the football. As now flags come up, and it looks like a time count.
Time count violation. Ottawa number 3. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
After a little bit of momentum on the Ackland touchdown grab, now it's snap comes up awkwardly on Drew Brown. It's noisy again. The horns are out here in Montreal. Takes the time count. And that's only going to fuel this Percival Molson celebratory crowd even further. Armstead picks up his mouth guard that falls out right before the snap. Pressure on. Brown steps up, looks down the field, wide open, down the middle of the field. It's Hardy. Can he get it to him? Yes! Hauls it in.
What a fantastic look by Drew Brown. Watch how he keeps his eyes downfield here as he starts to scramble. Montreal again mixing up their pressure package. Brown takes a peek downfield. Hardy streaking to the middle. Great concentration. Watch the end of this. Does he keep the ball off the turf or does he trap it? Snap the ball in a hurry if you're Ottawa.
No challenge flag out yet. As Brown now kills the play at the line of scrimmage, goes to the second one they called in the huddle. Pressure look from the Owls. They bounce out of it, and now flags come up.
Time count violation.
Again.
Ottawa number 3. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And the challenge that Drew Brown is facing is Montreal can give you so many different looks. You're trying to get into the right place, sometimes audibling at the line of scrimmage, but you've only got so much time in this league with a 20-second time clock. Sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and go with the play you have called.
Brown gets this one off. Steps up in the pocket again, looking downfield, looking to the end zone, past the outstretched arms of Marc-Antoine Duquois. It was Braylon Addison, the intended target.
Yeah, limited space down there, as Brown can only lead him so much. As you've got the end zone that's diagonally cut off with the track that goes around this field, so he can't really lead him. He's going to run out of real estate there before the sideline. That one gets into the pads on Addison.
Duquois looking like Matthew Tkachuk saving an empty netter there. Full extension. He's got such incredible range. Now Brown on second and long. Underneath, incomplete. Looking Ackland's way once again.
On the crossing route. Here, this one just a little in front of him. See him reaching, trying to make the one-handed stab there, but couldn't get enough of it.
So it brings Lewis Ward back out after smashing the last one off the upright, but the drive was extended. He scored the Jalen Ackland touchdown. They will settle for 3. No, it's a miss from the CFL's most accurate kicker all time. 88.2%. And a sign of the times for the Ottawa REDBLACKS here in week number 3. Oh, those laces. A little inside. Missed it, wide left.
Play for just the second time ever in the CFL. Reno and Chinita Brooks are here. They went to almost every single one of his college games back in Edinburgh University, so it's a special night here for him. Walter Fletcher started football a little later, is about grade 7. His father Reno is a big football fanatic, said until you're ready to give it your all, then come talk to me. So it was grade 7, and guys, well, he hasn't looked back.
No doubt Kenzie he lines up behind Fajardo here. A show run, go away from him. Fajardo with pressure on, gets it away. Incomplete. I remember watching the Eastern semifinal here, Dwayne, against Hamilton back in 2022, where Trevor Harris was still the Montreal Alouettes starting quarterback, goes into his post-game press conference, has a great game, and in the back of the room was Walter Fletcher, and he just said, someone's going to pay that guy because he needs to be the man in an offense, because he had a great game that day in the playoffs. Well, the Alouettes paid him. The Alouettes knew he had to be the guy too.
Yeah, his role expanded this year. William Stanback moving on to do his thing with the BC Lions. Walter Fletcher, good start to the season. Had a 39-yard touchdown run. Fourth quarter against Edmonton last week.
Now Fajardo slow getting things to the line, and Jason Moss calls a preventative timeout.
Timeout, Montreal.
Some confusion at the line of scrimmage, but yeah, Fletcher has definitely given them a different dynamic. So here is Walter Fletcher on being the guy.
It's satisfying, it's humbling as well, because I have the trust of my teammates, the O-line, Cody, Coach Moss, Coach Jackson, LBJ, Mike, AC. So to have guys behind you and they truly believe in you, they want to see you successful. Your teammates are behind you. You get a first down, you score a touchdown, everyone's running up to you, telling you deserve it, man, and keep going. So that motivates me, that keeps me going, and like I said, it's a blessing to be in this position.
Tobias Harris knocks that one away. Great defensive play as the Alouettes will head off with their offense. But for Fletcher, just looks the part, plays the part, says the right things, makes great plays.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of a different look to the run game for these Montreal Alouettes, with Walter Fletcher carrying the load, but he has been effective thus far.
And whistles here as well, as it looks like maybe a challenge flag is out on the Alouettes sideline. Andrew Wakefield, a referee, goes over to discuss with Jason Moss.
Montreal is challenging the previous play for pass interference. The play will be reviewed.
So we'll take a look at it back in the command center. Hoping to try and squeeze a little bit of extra yardage and a fresh set of downs as Moss gets rid of the challenge flag, now with his second.
Here we'll watch the tail end of this one. Harris in coverage on Julian Grant. And it didn't appear to be anything at the end of that play.
Alouettes challenging defensive pass interference on this attempt.
Watch the start of the route as Julian Grant stems out and tries to come underneath. Sort of a grab there by Harris as he gets the arms wrapped around. Right arm at least.
In order to be defensive pass interference, has to be in the air with that contact happening. Let's go down and get the answer from command.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Montreal has charged their final team timeout and has no challenges remaining for the game. Third down.
Well, you can't fault Jason Moss for giving it a shot.
Yeah.
I mean, there was contact, but the ball wasn't in the air yet, is my expectation on that one. So Joseph Zima will send it away. Pressure on that time from the Red Blacks, and it forces a bit of a sidewinding kick. A no yards flag is down as well. And a return up close to the 40-yard line there for Devontae Dedmon. A couple of Canadians almost meeting at the football there.
Holding, Ottawa number 85. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Cormier and Opoko almost came together, and then the flag will get called on Daniel Oladeo at the University of Ottawa.
Again, Ottawa in playing to the situation, getting a little bit more aggressive going after that punt. Coming up just short.
Regardless, the Red Blacks get the football back. See if they can recreate some of that opening drive magic they had to begin this second half with a touchdown to Jalen Acklin. Drew Brown shows run, flips it out onto the edge. Armstead can't get the corner again. Great pursuit, Tyrese Beverett.
he shows his speed and range on this one. Bit of a jump start as they try to get this option type play out to the perimeter. But watch how Beverett loses leverage there, but still pursues that play and forces it out of bounds.
Adds another stat to his impressive tally here on the evening. Brown on 2nd and 8. Steps up, rips it across his body, downfield to Dominique Rhymes. And Dom is back in a big way. Finally a chunk play for 15.
Yeah, out of the slot, he's going to take the middle on this one and wins that contested catch. Stem to the outside. And Lyon desperately leaping to try and knock that ball down. Tremendous concentration from Rhymes.
Nice job getting the hands under it there for Rhymes, and now Ackland does the same as he carries the football up to the 35-yard. That was 43 yards for Dominique Rhymes, something they dearly been trying to get into this offensive attack on that shot play.
Yeah, we saw this look earlier on a 2nd down play from Ottawa. And Brown just overthrew Ackland a little bit. Past his outstretched hands. This time the two are able to connect for a nice 1st down pickup.
Nick Mardner, the receiver, checks out of the ball game. Jacob Ruby comes in, a healthy scratch last week. Extra offensive lineman. 3 receivers to the right of Brown. Gets hit by his own running back as he crossed face, but dumps it out into the flats. Just trying to pick up the 1st down on 2nd and 3, and it's Armstead making the grab and moving the chains.
On the catch.
Lots of traffic in that backfield, but Drew Brown gets it done.
First and 10. Just outside the Montreal 30-yard line. Pressure from Drew Brown's right. He goes the other direction, throws away from it. It's complete. Braylon Addison makes the grab and rolls his way down to the 18-yard line.
And just a quick hookup with the defense backed off. Take what they give you here. And you're Braylon Addison.
Sandwiched in between Avery Ellis and Darnell Sankey. Zone look again here for the Alouettes, trying to throw into the same window he did for the Ackland touchdown earlier. This time it's incomplete, intended for Rhymes.
And Najee Murray supplies the coverage on that one. And certainly nothing dominant here from the Ottawa REDBLACKS, but a very different 2nd half than the opening 30, in which they were just swarmed and seemed overwhelmed from start to finish.
Made it look so easy on that opening drive. This is another good sustained drive, reminiscent of their Week 2 effort against Winnipeg. A season opening and home opening win last Thursday.
Timeout, Ottawa.
Now they'll have to talk it through once again as Bob Dice shakes his head as to burn a timeout, but as long as he cashes in with 7, I don't think it'll matter too much.
We're looking at this score, down 3 touchdowns. You think, you know, at 30 to 1, you don't think much of it, but you start wondering now if 2 missed field goals are going to haunt the Ottawa REDBLACKS.
Brown rips a shot into the end zone. Nobody home. Looked like Rhymes and Ackland were closest in the area. Marc-Antoine Degois has nearly had his fingertips on about half a dozen footballs here tonight.
Never a surprise. Never a surprise to see Marc-Antoine Degois near the ball, the Alouette safety.
Must have thought Rhymes was going to break back to the post. Never came back. Lewis Ward this time from 26. And 2 misses might haunt him, but another 3 on the board cuts into the Montreal advantage. UEFA 2024 continues on TSN. Don't miss tomorrow's Netherlands versus France matchup at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, as the summer of soccer continues, rolls along. Copa America, all things happening in UEFA as well. Tremendous time of year for summer sport. And great to have the CFL back in full swing. 7 of 8 games to begin this season being determined in the final 3 minutes. Be a heck of a finish here in Montreal if we got anywhere close to that. 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. And Ottawa with a distinct advantage moving the football, but Montreal trying to answer. This will help. Julian Grant crosses the 55, rolling through tacklers all the way down inside the 40.
And the St. Francis Xavier University grad continues to add to his total. Second-round pick in 2019. Was among the league's top receivers last year until he got hurt. It was kind of the Keon Julian Grant, Austin Mack show for the first half of the season in Montreal, as they had so many other receiver injuries, but gave this young man a chance to shine.
Keon crosses the dollar bill mark, 108 yards. Here in the home opener for the Owls, a handoff up the middle that time. As Fletcher gets pulled down. 196 yards for Ottawa in this third quarter. That was Montreal's first down of the second half on that Keon Julian Grant catch.
One of the guys who provided the first half spark. Maybe helping wake up the Owls here in the second, in which they have been outscored 11-0. Soccer talk.
Richardo's been pressured and hit, but not sacked. This time he'll hand off. Fletcher downhill running. First down on 2nd and 7 with an outside run for 25.
Yeah, nice one here. The speed of Fletcher threatens the outside. Beats Lorenzo Malden around that corner. Sticks his foot in the ground and gets it north-south to pick up the first down. Good effort there from Walter Fletcher.
Most rewarding thing maybe for an offensive line that's been pass protecting much of the night. 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8, 11-yard rushing first down, killing the clock. End of the third quarter as Fajardo, with time and protection, rips this one into Keon Julian Grant, and the strong hands of the Canadian receiver make the play. A gain of 9. And that's the third quarter. Ottawa chipping away, trying to find answers, but they've dug a massive hole to the Alouettes, who celebrate their 2023 Grey Cup championship. Fourthly, that passing yardage total took a massive jump in the third quarter, Dwayne, because Drew Brown got into a little bit of a rhythm there and started to find some of his weapons. I mentioned it. He's got a lot of guys around him. You got to think they got to start to find ways to get into the end zone more consistently.
Yeah, and they did a nice job considering that Montreal's expecting them to pass the ball. They're giving Drew Brown a lot of different looks, but able to get enough protection to push the ball downfield. A couple of big strikes in that third quarter. They're going to need to continue to get yardage in chunks, though, if they're going to catch up in this one. As I said earlier, unfortunate to have a couple of misses from the usually money Lewis Ward in this one as they're trying to close the gap.
159 passing yards for that man in the third quarter. Number 3 will go to work, but right now it's number 5 Caleb Evans in the ball game and plunging his way forward on 2nd and a full 2, and he got it.
Caleb Evans and the big boys in front of him get the job done. There you see a great push from the offensive line. Philippe Gagnon, the right guard, leading the way.
Jason Moss told us this week that if you don't want to compete, we don't want you on the team. So situations like that 2nd and 2. He might have just challenged them to put the game away here as quickly as possible. And they answer the bell on that snap. This time a fake run to Fletcher. Fajardo steps up, now flips his hips to the left, and Keon Julian Grant just stopped running. Darius Pickett right there on the spot defensively.
Yeah, and I think Fajardo might have rushed that throw a little bit as he pivoted to his left, as he saw Darius Pickett closing on his receiver a little bit. So that one sails away. You'll see he's got time, but the coverage takes away the front side, shifts to the backside. Pickett out there with him.
Fajardo 3 for 7 in this 2nd half thus far. Julian Grant splits out. Wide receiver to the right. Fajardo fades against pressure, gets it up into the end zone. Hauled in, Reggie White Jr.
I watched this route unfold the whole way, and yeah, let him dance. First game since 2022 for Reggie White Jr. that got his DB turned around.
Illegal contact on a receiver, Ottawa number 20. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
You see Reggie White Jr. on the left side of your screen. He's going to run the post here. Behind the defender, Ty Cranston. And that ball will be a keeper for Reggie White.
The amount of effort and energy it takes to come back from a devastating knee injury like he had. Far too common, unfortunately, in this game. But he earned every single bit of congratulations on this one. Back in 2022, 53 catches, 700 yards, 2 touchdowns. He adds another here in 2024.
Going to the post, gets the DB's hips turned to the outside. He's got to do that center field turn to try and catch up, and you see the separation that creates. Allows that window for Cody Fajardo to toss it in there.
David Cote kicks it away. Devontae Dedmon returns from his own 10-yard line. Builds up some speed. Now gets a block. Down the sideline. Can he make it all the way? Yes, he sticks on his feet. The first return touchdown of 2024 belongs to Devontae Dedmon.
What a great hurdle at the end. Well, we said this is where it all began for Devontae Dedmon. Back to the scene of the crime, fights off a tackle there. Looks like he's going to get reeled in here. Marc-Antoine Dequoy came flying all the way across the field and actually caught up to him. Went for the legs. Dedmon saw it coming, stepped over him. Go in for the major.
As soon as I saw the number 24 in Alouettes blue, I thought there's no way.
Yeah.
He's got the angle, he's got the length, reeled him in. And they'll go for 2. As the REDBLACKS 0 for 1 in their first attempt to go for 2 last week at home. See what they can do here. Brown flips, tries to throw it back, shoulder almost gets deflected directly into the unknowing arms of Nick Mardner. And it looked like Brown was looking for a hot route into a soft spot in the defense. There was nobody there, but Mardner almost caught the ricochet for 2. 37-18. Montreal leads. Groceries for the year.
Groceries.
Congratulations, and we'll see with another kickoff here if someone gets lucky for big money as crossing the 40. And wrapped up is James Letcher Jr. as Devontae Dedmon. Been one of those names that the REDBLACKS through some thin years have really leaned on for excitement and energy, and provides right here.
Yeah, big time Dedmon. Well, they keep looking for ways to try and work him into the offense a little bit, but this is his wheelhouse, the return game. Another huge contribution from number 17 there.
And again, it's 37-18, but you talk about those 2 missed field goals. You maybe get a stop here or there. Could be a lot closer right now because Ottawa is not going away, to their credit. Fajardo, he'll throw. Gets it out into the hands of the touchdown maker, Reggie White Jr. Just had a trip to the end zone.
And what a boon it would be for the Montreal Alouettes, getting this guy back to form. Certainly looks good in his return to action tonight. One of the Owls' top receivers, as I said earlier, in 2022. Their second leading receiver, over 700 yards that year. Only Gino Lewis had more for Montreal that season.
You gotta love Jason Moss. Just a constant discussion on the sideline. Analyzing, planning, calling in plays like this for Cole Speaker. Over the top on a corner route. Incomplete, but defensive pass interference is the call.
Montreal, which had been so patient.
Pass interference. Ottawa number 41. Ball will be placed to the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
So patient in terms of taking their deep shots through their first couple games of the season. Have just come out guns a-blazing tonight, feeling like this was an area in which they could take advantage of the Ottawa REDBLACKS, and they largely have. You see Tobias Harris, the halfback in coverage, giving up a little bit in terms of size. Trying to hang on there.
Screen back to Fletcher. Scored on a play just like this against Edmonton last week. This one won't go to the end zone, but he's down to the 15-yard line.
Nice execution on the screen pass here. Watch as they get the left side of the offensive line out here in front. Hold your blocks and go. Get your big guys pushing around their little guys, leading the way for Walter Fletcher.
Late substitutions here from the Alouettes, so they won't whistle it in until right now as David Dallaire steps into the huddle. Haven't said the native Charleston Rambo much. He'll split out wide to the top of your screen. Tyson Philpott to the bottom. Inside handoff, Fletcher makes one man miss, cuts back, and he's down around the 18-yard line.
Big defensive play there from Lorenzo Malden. Bursting upfield, Fletcher from the backfield trying to take this around the corner, but Malden beats his block, comes in to make the play. Don't hurt my baby. Walter's doing just fine for himself out there, Mom.
The double arms crossed is a real pensive body language, I gotta say, but lots to be proud of right there. Behind the black visor. Fajardo, deep drop, looks over the middle. Hauled in, Reggie White Jr. Looks like they'll spot him just shy of the goal line.
Clutch catch, and watch the self-preservation throw from Cody Fajardo as Bryce Carter beat his block to the inside. Cody basically chucked
is under review by the command center.
Well, control right there on the top of the goal line.
Reggie White Jr. getting in a groove here in the second half.
To your point, though, I mean, what we saw from Philpott and Kale.
After review, we have a touchdown.
Hey! Now you add this man to the fold. A return so nice, he's in the end zone twice.
You can see how thrilled his teammates are for him. Alouettes look to finish strong here.
Up and through from David Cote, and Cody Fajardo continues to lay down the high water mark of week number 3 for quarterbacks across the league. Couple of touchdowns in short order here. Answering back for the Devontae Dedmon return touchdown for the Red Blacks is a scoring explosion in the 4th and final quarter, but great to see him in the end zone.
It certainly is. Just great to see him back on the field for starters, but clearly finding his confidence a little bit in the first game back. And as it goes on, becoming a bigger part of the offense.
Return coming here from Tobias Harris, who has to backpedal all the way almost to his 5 in a big open field tackle that time, being chopped down in coverage. Peru versus Chile. Kickoff at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Keeping the summer of soccer going here at TSN. Stream all Copa America games with a TSN Plus subscription. More info at tsn.ca/plus. There's a 2-0 result for Argentina over Canada as the Canadian men's soccer program continues to push forward. And we'll see how that shakes out for them right here on TSN. Drew Brown with 9 minutes remaining, trying to play catch up yet again, as he has been all evening long. Flushed out of the pocket, and down he goes. He's been close tonight, and finally Isaac Adeyemi Berglund gets one.
Adeyemi Berglund lined up out wide. They bug a couple linebackers, Sankey and Jeffrey Kenta Arku. Montreal's first rounder this year, getting his share of snaps on defense as well as they get to the Ottawa QB.
Loss of 6 on the sack. See what Noel Thorpe dials up here, the Alouettes defensive coordinator. He'll send 5, protected, ball out into the hands of Justin Hardy, who's brought down by Cosby. Up close to the 40-yard line, but it won't be enough, and it looks like it's 3 down time for the Red Blacks offense.
And in that second and extra long situation, you can see Montreal defensively. They were going to let Ottawa have the underneath route, basically leaving Hardy uncovered to make sure anybody that was running first down depth got extra attention and coverage.
Dequoy and Beverette line up as safeties here, bailing out. Just a 3-man rush, but they're still going to get home with punctuation on 3rd down.
Mustafa Johnson, 3-point stance, lined up, just shaded on the center. Blows through there, Jeffrey Cantanarku in on that one as well. Well, the evening started with a lot of celebration for the Montreal Alouettes, and it's kind of looking like it's going to close the same way.
Bit of a lull there in the 3rd quarter. Not sure anybody was really all that nervous here in Montreal with the celebratory vibes inside Percival Molson, but in the 4th quarter they really have tightened things down. A couple of Reggie White touchdowns.
Timer, please reset the clock to 7:37.
And Jason Moss goes back to the call sheet. Fajardo, handoff, Walter Fletcher bouncing off 2 tacklers. A flag comes in well behind the play.
Holding, Montreal number 54. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Got the center, Justin Lawrence, on the backside of that run.
Justin Lawrence, University of Alberta product. Just as he starts losing his man to his right. Called for the hold.
Didn't like the call, but it will stand. So 1st and 20. Lone receiver to the right of Fajardo is Rambo. They'll go screen into that single receiver side. Once again, Fletcher making moves as another flag comes out.
I have a feeling this one might be another hold after the catch. One of the receivers.
There is no foul on the previous play. It's 2nd down.
So a decent pickup on 1st and 20 after the holding call against Lawrence. And they'll move that back near the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 11. As the Ottawa defense, so much time spent on the field here this evening. Fajardo, deep drop, looking to screen it once again, and this time he'll fire it into the turf. As down on the field, I believe that's Lorenzo Malden, who was the closest to Fajardo, and he grabbed his knee immediately. He's just checking in on.
Ottawa defensive line pinning their ears back. The 2nd and 10.
Thankfully, Malden's up on his own power and skipping his way off to the sideline.
Yeah, it looked like he might have just jammed a knee there a little bit in pursuit.
One of the true stars of the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Love the video their social team sent out this week of him getting to see a banner of him on the side of TD Place in Ottawa for the first time. Walked outside, and one of those moments that you realize you really are one of the faces of the franchise. As Denis Cote will kick this one from 41 yards away. Got plenty of leg, and the aim is true. 47-18. The Alouettes on top.
Jason Moss, in typical fashion, foot on the gas all the way through this one. Incredibly competitive guy, and you see it reflected in his team.
Week 3 of the CFL on TSN continues. It doesn't get any easier for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It's the BC Lions coming to town. Friday night football. What a matchup. Tomorrow, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on TSN. Seen a little bit of Zach Collaros and Drew Brown's game here this evening as this swing pass goes incomplete. Intended for Devontae Dedmon. Trying to slip their speedster with the kickoff return touchdown earlier back into the game offensively.
Yeah, we see Dedmon listed as a running back on the REDBLACKS depth chart. But it's all about a handful of package plays, trying to put the ball in his hands, looking to make something happen. He's already done it in the return game, hoping he can bring some of that magic to their offense here.
2nd and 10. Brown with the Oleg chance, ringing out around Percival Molson. Completed, big hit, as diving for the first down was Dominic Grimes, and Cosby was right there to give him a shot just shy of the first down marker. But once again, they'll go 3-down territory.
Yeah, they're going to have Dedmon clear on the front side and basically bring Grimes in behind him across the middle. You can see the open space that's created. Cosby stepping up to make that hit.
Well, for Drew Brown's first game against an East Division opponent, this is quite the introduction to East on East matchups, the first of this CFL season. His third and a couple. He hands it off, and look at the physicality and the spinning move of Devontae Dedmon. Much more than just a returner.
If you're going to go down swinging. You're looking for positive signs for Ottawa. Nice run there from Dedmon, proving to be just as elusive on offense as he was on that kick return earlier.
Four-man rush this time on Brown. He jumps and gets this one away to Jalen Ackland. And Darnell Sankey, one of the hardest hitters in all the CFL.
You can, from up above, sort of see that one coming in slow motion.
And now multiple flags out at the end of the play.
And I think Ottawa coach Bob Dice is wondering a little bit. He's in there reining in his own guys, but
and Ackland has his history as well with the Montreal Alouettes.
Yeah.
And a couple of concussions that were sustained in his past. Their tempers hot on a very hot and humid night here in Montreal.
Well, when you think about some of the things we've seen go as taunting calls, that might have been an extended celebration on a play where a player was injured.
Short succession here for the Red Blacks. Lorenzo Malden goes to the sideline. Jalen Ackland goes to the sideline. Sure, they'll check him out, but good to see him up and moving around.
Ackland started from the bottom of your screen. Keep an eye on middle linebacker Sankey. He's coming straight downhill on him.
Moss loves to see all 6'1", 240 of Darnell Sankey in the middle of his defense.
Why they got him.
Yeah.
Right,
after the play, we have offsetting 15-yard misconduct fouls. Ottawa 65, Montreal number 98. Those penalties offset. It's second down.
So Dylan Wynn and Darius Bladdock get into it with each other as Jalen Ackland asking for an explanation. And Baron Miles asking him to go and take a seat for a minute. Well, the Ottawa offense goes back to work. Intensity ratchets up in a 47-18 game here in the East. Brown rolls to his right, completes. Mardner makes the grab, escorted out of bounds by Tyrese Beverett.
Nothing wrong with a little dislike between division rivals.
Well, in the CFL, it's not like they're going to play again anytime soon, right? So, sure, the rematch will be inspired.
Yeah, I believe it's only 3 regular season meetings rather than 4 between these two this year.
Inside handoff. Go back to the well with Dedmon. Flags on the play.
Offside. Montreal number 91. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Isaac Adeyemi Berglund first across the line.
Yep. Top left of your screen, the defensive end. A little early jump. He knew it.
Brown over the middle. Again finds that soft spot in Justin Hardy. Despite the score differential, there is a lot to believe in Justin Hardy. Not that we had any doubts the last couple of years, but he is productive.
Yeah, 1,000-yard receiver last year. Former Atlanta Falcon, as you mentioned, incredibly productive career at East Carolina.
Oh, high snap, and now Brown gets knocked off by Armstead. Has to fight his way back to the football. It was a gain of 21 to Hardy. And now they dig themselves a hole and down in distance with this.
Yeah, this is the second time we've seen the ball come up before Drew Brown was ready. That one didn't even have a chance to react to it. Fortunately, Armstead, the running back, able to get on top of the rock.
Loss of 13 yards makes it 2nd and 23. And we have hit the 3-minute warning. 47-18 as Drew Brown goes to the wrist coach on a beautiful night in Montreal. We'll round it out when we return. Little country roads to round out a big night here in Montreal. Will they ever lose again? That's the question. The Montreal Alouettes ready to move to their 11th straight victory. As the REDBLACKS keep plucking away Najee Murray right there alongside Bryce Cosby. And we get a look at this once again. It's crazy to think this time last year just going, well, they're not going to be any good this season. Here we are, Grey Cup champions, raising a banner and looking at this run carrying over into 2024.
Yeah, that switch was flipped. And you know, the first game that when Darnell Sankey joined this team, Sean Lemon had just joined the team second half of the season. Darnell Sankey came on for the final third. They lost Sankey's first game against Toronto, but talking to Jason Moss this week, he said he kind of felt that that was when they really felt that they had a chance. They were close, that they could compete, and they have not lost since.
Lewis Ward good from 34 there. It was amazing to hear Moss basically go, we had Austin Mack get ejected. That taught us that we can't do anything close to that. We had this happen. We had this many fumbles. We had these many guys. I don't think since then we've had a fumble. We haven't had that many guys lose it. He just went through bang, 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 bang.
Yeah,
these are the things we learned in that game that have basically been holding our entire team accountable through not just the remainder of that season into this season. Yeah. I don't know how he was able to connect those dots, other than there's a lot of guys from that team last year that are still here in Montreal.
Yeah, and I mean, Jason Moss has built a culture here in Montreal, and it's one that works with this group of players. There's little question, little arguing that, you know, anybody that felt that their run last year was a little bit of smoke and mirrors, you know, at some point you got to believe they're the real deal, and I'll tell you, I believe.
Oh, it'll be interesting to see the remainder of the games here in week 3. Toronto takes on Edmonton, but then next week it is these Alouettes against the Argos in week 4. As James Letcher Jr. takes the kickoff out to the 48-yard line. Keon Julian Grant in conversation with Cody Fajardo. They had a beautiful connection going here tonight, but who didn't with Cody Fajardo most of the game?
Yeah, pretty good day for Cody. Opening drive, he finishes it off with a touchdown run. Couple bombs to Tyson Philpott. Keon Julian Grant, Reggie White with a couple of fourth-quarter touchdowns as they look to finish strong. Solid outing. He's congratulated there by his offensive line.
Nearly 400 yards for Fajardo. He'll call it a night. Caleb Evans gets some snaps here in cleanup duty. He's the one-time REDBLACKS starting quarterback. Came over in free agency and has done well with the role that he's been given, certainly.
Collected a win over his old team as a starter, one of a couple games that Cody Fajardo sat out last season.
Second and 7. Evans, little quarterback draw right up the middle, goes to the wheels and spins off contact. And it'll be a first down, but for Cody Fajardo as well, when we look at that, you know, going to 11 straight wins and where the team was at this year, it struck me tonight as we watched Caleb Evans with this run up the middle, watching Fajardo come out of the tunnel here in Montreal, rousing ovation, fireworks going off, everyone appreciative, a Grey Cup champion, a Grey Cup MVP. At this time last year, he was widely looked at around the league as, well, Montreal didn't really know where else to go, and Fajardo kind of knew Moss, so I guess they just went and got him.
Yeah, well, a lot of other people on the outside thought that. I don't think that's what Jason Moss believed, having worked with together in Saskatchewan.
Nice throw this time. Heather Fervius. St. Mary's makes the grab. But you're right, inside the building from day one, it seemed like everyone rallied around number 7, and certainly we saw the emotion that he brought in the lead up to the Grey Cup. And he really started to believe.
Yeah, you look at the connection between Cody Fajardo and Jason Moss, the connection between Jason Moss and Danny Machocha that goes back a lot of years to their time in Edmonton together as head coach and quarterback. You know, it's strong and has a lot to do with the success of this team.
Mason pluses in. They flip it out to Fervius once again. He gets pulled backwards this time by Damon Webb. Haven't said his name much here this evening because it's just been an aerial assault from the Alouettes, but Webb was fantastic against Winnipeg last week and certainly one of the great building blocks for this Ottawa Redblacks defense.
And the thing for Ottawa after this one, obviously you learn what you can learn. You know, it was Jason Moss said to us this week, you know, we don't, in Montreal, they don't look at them as losses, they look at them as lessons, right? If you learn something from it, it's not a loss, it's a lesson. And I think that's the approach Ottawa has to take at this point, as they are still rebuilding this team. What do you learn from this game that you correct next week?
Dedmon driven all the way back into his end zone. Time and score. He'll decide to take it out, try and make a play. Gets near the 18-yard line. Fajardo walks around, communicates with many of his teammates, and a hearty congratulations from James Letcher Jr. to his return counterpart, Devontae Dedmon, who says hello to Tyson Philpott on his way past as well. The Redblacks will take on the Hamilton Tiger Cats in their next matchup in week 4. Drew Brown still in the ball game. Rolls to his right. Nobody open down the field. Tries to fire one in, but at least Leon there to deflect it away.
Well, as not close as this ball game has turned out to be, a little bit of the fire between these two teams does have me looking forward to their next meeting. It doesn't come until September. But I think football players have long memories.
They'll be keeping an eye on each other week in, week out. No doubt about that after tonight. And a huge performance for the Alouettes. Drew Brown stutters, gets the football out, knocked down, incomplete. Montreal's last loss, Dwayne, was 279 days ago. September 15th, 2023. That was that game with all those learning lessons we talked about against the Argonauts.
Sean Lemon.
A little bit of Mutombo in everybody.
Yeah.
Richie Leone sends one more punt away down to the 45-yard line. And James Letcher Jr. can't get away. And what a special teams tackle that was in the open field. Got beat on a touchdown earlier, but Ty Cranston, heck of a player, working in that depth-free safety role, former 7th-round pick from the GGs.
Yeah, started his career here in Montreal before heading home to Ottawa in free agency a couple of years ago.
And one final chance on a night where the banner was unveiled for the 2023 Grey Cup Championship for these fans who have stuck around throughout the entirety of the evening after an absolute fireworks display to kick things off in the first half, to once again say thank you to their Alouettes for the memories and, let's be honest, for the hopes that going back-to-back might not be that unrealistic. Caleb Evans takes the knee. And football is alive and well here in Montreal. 47-21. Dwayne, your thoughts on a heck of a night for the Alouettes?
Yeah, impressive. We talked about it off the start. Big celebration, a lot of emotion with the banner being raised here tonight, but the Alouettes did a terrific job of shifting from celebration mode into business mode right from the